All right, this week on your math buffet, you're going to see that your appetizer questions are a bit different than we have done in the past. The first thing that you're going to notice in the appetizer is that you're going to need to identify the prime numbers. I think it's important here that we go back and review what is a prime number. A prime number is a whole number greater than 1 whose only two whole number factors are 1 and itself. So that means that the number can only be divided evenly by 1 or itself. And it must be a number greater than 1. So 1 doesn't actually count as a prime number. Okay? So when I look at these, I'm thinking of factors. So I'm thinking of numbers that will go into these numbers. So the first number I have is a 2. And I know that if I list the factors of 2, that 1 and 2 are the only factors. So it is going to be a prime number. So I'm going to circle it. Okay? Then I'm going to take a look at 5. And I know from my factors of 5 that 1 and 5 are the only factors of 5. So I'm going to circle 5. 7, same thing. I know that if I look at my factors of 7, so numbers I can multiply to get 7, 1 and 7 are the only two numbers. So I'm going to circle 7. Maybe. The next number I come to is 9. And I'm already thinking that I know for factors I've got 1 and 9. And then I also know that I could multiply 3 times 3. So that has more than just 1 in itself. So I'm not going to circle 9 because it would not be a prime number. Then I'm moving on to 11. And I'm already thinking of the factors that I multiply together to get 11. And I know that I can multiply 1 times 11 to get 11. And that's the only one I know of. So I'm going to circle 11. Continuing on. 15, same thing. I know that I have 1 and 15. I have 3 and 5 are all numbers I can multiply together to get 15. So that is not going to be a prime number. 20, same thing. Thinking of all of my factors. So I have 1 and 20. I have 2 and 10. I have 4 and 5. So again, I have more than just 1 in itself that are going to be multiplied together. So it would not be a prime number. All right, now we're on to number 21, and I'm already starting to think of what numbers I can multiply together to get 21. So I have 1 and 21. I can't multiply 2 by anything. I have 3 and 7. 4 doesn't work, 5 doesn't work, 6 doesn't work. So I know that has more than just 1 in itself because I see a 3 there and I see a 7 there. So I'm not going to circle it because it is not a prime number. 33, same thing. I already know 1 and 33 I can multiply together. Then I'm thinking, can 2 go into 33? Nope, because it's an odd number, so that's not going to work. Then 3, will 3 go into it? Well, absolutely. So I can do 3 times 11. Okay, so again, there's more than just 1 and 33 as the factors. So it is not going to be a prime number. So to get this one correct, you should have circled 2, 5, 7, and 11. Okay? Down below on the 2-digit by 2-digit multiplication, the first thing you'll need to do is check your answers, and if you have them correct, you are able to complete the video. So 23 times 47 was 1,081. And then 313 divided by 6 was 52 with a remainder of 1. If you got those answers correct, then you may go ahead and move on to the next video, which goes over lines, line segments, and rays. If you have them incorrect, you need to watch and figure out where you made your mistake. Okay, when we are doing 2-digit by 2-digit multiplication, we're always going to multiply up first. So we're going to do the 1s times the 1s. So 7 times 3 is 21. I want to bring my 1s down, regroup my 10s. So the 1 comes down, the 2 goes up. My next step is going to be across. So I'm going to multiply the 1s times the 10s. So 7 times 2 is 14. I'm going to add what I regrouped. So 14 plus 2 more is 16. The whole 16 goes down because there are no more neighbors. Okay? This step is very important. Otherwise, you won't be able to line up your numbers correctly. I need a 0 placeholder. So it's going to go underneath the 1s down here in my answers. I'm going to go ahead and put my plus sign and my line so that I know once I'm done multiplying, I'm going to go ahead and add. The next step is going to be to move on to the 4. I'm going to multiply the 10s by the 1s. So I'm doing 4 times 3. 4 times 3 I know is 12. So my 2, which is in the 1s, comes down. My 1 goes up. Okay? The last step of this 2-digit by 2-digit multiplication portion is going to be the 10s by the 10s. So I'm going to do 4 times 2 plus 1 more. So 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 more is 9. And the very last step, and I'm going to write it here, is to add. So I have 1 plus 0 is 1, 6 plus 2 is 8, 9 plus 1 is 10, for an answer of 1,081. All right, our final appetizer question, 313 divided by 6. First thing I have to decide, will 6 go into 3? No, 6 is bigger than 3, so it absolutely will not go into 3. So this is not going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 0 there so that I don't accidentally write my answer in the incorrect spot. Okay? I already know that my answers always go in the attic. Okay, so they're going to go up here above the line, and then if I have a remainder, it'll go in the chimney. All of my work is going to go down below in the basement. Okay? So since 6 won't go into 3, I'm going to have to take 6 into 31. So I'm already thinking, what can I multiply 6 by that gets me close to 31 without going over? Well, I know that 6 times 5 is 30. So I'm going to put a 5. So I divided, was my first step. Okay. My second step, and I always put my little multiplication sign there so I remember that I'm multiplying this by this. My second step is to multiply. And I know that 6 times 5 is 30, so I'm going to put my 30. Okay. My third step always is to subtract. So I'm going to take 31 minus 30. 1 minus 0 is 1. 3 minus 3 is 0. Okay. Now I need to bring down, my pen keeps, it's not working. I need to bring down the next number. So I'm going to bring down the 3. Apparently that doesn't want to work. Okay, bring down. I brought down the 3. And then the very final step in subtraction is the pet rover, and he's going to repeat. So I start again with divide. And now I'm looking down here to see about my division. So how many times will 6 go into 13? I'm already thinking, 2 times 6 is 12. That gets me close to 13 without going over. My answer goes in the attic. Divide. Now I'm going to multiply. 6 times 2 is 12. Now I'm going to subtract. 13 minus 12 is 1. I have nothing else to bring down. And I have nothing left to divide, so this 1 becomes my remainder. So my answer is 52, remainder 1. Okay? You will have problems similar to this tomorrow on your Math Buffet Appetizer. For now, you're going to move on to the next video listed in this assignment, and it will go over lines, line segments, and rays.